The story about the goddess of Athena is one you shouldn't miss out on, but this one tells us the other part you must have never heard of. It is said that every several hundred years, the goddess of Athena is reincarnated. This animation shares the story of how she reincarnates under a dark prophecy that will bring the world to ruin. Meanwhile, the warriors who protect Athena are called Knights of the Zodiac, and somehow they control the fate of the world. Let's see how this animation does justice to the story. Just before Patricia, a potential Knight of the Zodiac, tucks in her brother, Sia, to bed, some soldiers barge in with force to arrest her and leave no witnesses. Patricia asks Sia to run away, but a knight comes to their rescue, protecting them from the fury of the soldiers. Backup for the soldiers arrived, and Patricia could barely resist the bullets meant to kill her. This hurts the knight so much that he carries Patricia away, leaving a distraught Sia to mourn the death of his only sister. Years later, Sia grows to hate the gang of thugs that parade the streets, instilling fear in homeless people. While he mentions his dislike for their activities, the gang leader catches up with them, ordering the other thugs to beat up Sia. There is no escape for Sia as they record a video of the poor boy receiving undeserved hits. They find a kid drawing in Sia's wallet, making a mockery of how Sia carries weird things in his wallet like a child. This makes Sia angry, and unknowingly, he allows his Cosmo to control him. The thugs run away the moment they witness Sia's retaliation. Meanwhile, Sia thinks he is not normal and returns to the Hope House for Children, an orphanage downtown. However, the gang leader uploaded the video everywhere, and even children from the orphanage talk about Sia in hushed tones after seeing the video. This is the least of Sia's problems. He wakes up from a nightmare about his sister. It doesn't end there, as he gets captured by unknown men. Sia wakes up in an unknown location to meet Alman Kido, a renowned informant, and his granddaughter, Sienna. Alman knows more about Sia than the boy does, telling him about his birth in the constellation of Pegasus, a knight that will guide Athena to victory. He tells him about the special powers of the warriors, which he believes Sia possesses. Fortunately, Sia catches a glimpse of the knight who took his sister. This doesn't stop Alman from mentioning how he went to an island in the Aegean Sea 15 years ago with Vandergerod, an ex-colleague who used to trade information, but is now moving to take power for himself with an army of black knights he created with technology. On the island, the two men met Gold Knight Aiolos, who was mortally murdered, yet shared a vision with them of the forthcoming war between the gods to kill Athena and rule the world. In a bid to stop this in the future, Aiolos entrusted to Alman a gold armor and a baby child, which Alman vowed to keep them away from Sanctuary, an ancient organization that governs all knights. In all of this, Alman wants Sia to join the right knights so they can help Athena save the world and stop the dark forces from rising. Sia barely believes he possesses the Cosmo power, but Alman tries to convince him to go to Chasmos Island and train to become the next Pegasus Knight. In addition, he tells Sia that his sister is still alive and the truth behind her kidnapping may unravel once he arrives on the island. Sia does not believe in destiny, but he believes Alman's story is a complete lie, so he opts to leave. His decision is interrupted by an attack on the building. Hirad is close by with his team of soldiers. Alman begins to clear all data on his system because Vander is after the location of Aiolos' gold armor, and his presence confirms this suspicion. However, Hirad asks that Sia and Sienna be taken to the VOTL while he settles his scores with Alman, who is reluctant to release any information with the claim that Pegasus will prove him right. And this happens just as he predicted. Mylok, one of Alman's trusted men, rescues Sienna and Sia from Hirad's men, but they must run in a bulletproof aircraft as far as they can. Sienna suggests that Sia unleashes his Pegasus powers by falling out of the aircraft. He manages to save Sienna and Mylok from their untimely death, but this leads him to find a safe passage hidden by waterfalls. This passage leads him to Chasmos Island, where the knights deny him entry for sneaking in. Even Silver Eagle Marin wants him out of the island, but as soon as Sia mentions his name, she rescues him from the angry knights. It takes Sia 6 years to survive tough training with Marin, his trainer, to get to the final tournament. A fight with Cassios will earn him the Pegasus armor, only if he wins. Despite Cassios' hefty stature, Sia is determined to go to the Sanctuary so he can find his sister. He retraces his memory to remember Marin's teachings, and he sets off to burn his Cosmo. On seeing how Sia's hands trace the 13 stars of Pegasus, Shayna warns her student, Cassios, to stay away from him. But it is too late as Sia finishes Cassios with one last blow. The master awards Sia with the armor, warning him not to use it for his gain or face the wrath of the other knights. Later that night, Marin sneaks away with Sia to escape Shayna's revenge for defeating her student. But Shayna blocks their exit, demanding a fair fight over the Pegasus armor. When Marin leaves Saya to fight with Shayna, he proceeds to wear his Pegasus armor, one that displeases Shayna from seeing him. His Pegasus power doesn't work on Shayna because he has yet to put his body and soul in sync with the armor. Marin urges him to control the universe in him so he can defeat Shayna. Finally, he manages to sync his body and soul with the armor after realizing the true reason why he wants to be Pegasus. Marin hands Saya a device that will lead him to a secret tournament called the Galaxian Wars, where knights participate to win the gold armor. Saya objects to going to such a tournament, but Marin convinces him to go to the tournament. Luckily, the device leads Saya to a desert, where he finds an underground hideout. He is shocked to see Sienna and Mylok, the organizers of the tournament. Sienna has gathered knights from all parts of the world to participate in the tournament, which will produce just one champion. Cygnus Magnus, another Pegasus knight, accuses Sienna of being a mastermind behind something evil. But Sienna reveals to him that Athena reincarnated in her, and this time, the dark prophecy will not come to pass. Saya gets into a fight with Unicorn Jap and Dragonlong, two knights hoping to emerge as the champion. This makes him so angry that he hangs his pendant and leaves the manhole, forgetting about his next round. Unfortunately, the manhole is guarded with heavy security that keeps Sia outside since he is not with his pendant. Andromeda Sean comes to his rescue and invites him back for his next round with Long. It seems Sia is unlucky to meet a student of Master Doko of the Lushan Mountain, but Sia proves this narrative wrong the moment we see Long on the ground. Moreover, Long is found dead and only Sia's punch can revive his dragon heart. Despite his weakness, Sia risks his life to revive Long with a punch at his back. While the knights engage in the fierce tournament, Harad plans to break into the manhole to capture Sienna and the Pegasus Knight. The earth begins to shake, so the knights come out of the manhole to discover that Harad is behind this disruption, but Sean's nebula chains sense a greater threat. Magnus, Sean, and Long are against the idea of fighting Harad's army, ignoring Sia's intention of taking revenge on the people who attacked him and his sister years ago. The Bronze Knights unite together, using their powers to protect Athena and defeat Harad's army, but that's not enough. Saya convinces Sienna to get to a safer location while they create a path for her to escape. The more the knights fight Harad's army, the more Harad's men appear. Another bigger threat is actually on the way. A knight has made away with the gold armor. And this knight is more dangerous than they think. He is Phoenix Nero, Sean's brother. Sean is happy to see her long-lost brother, but he is not happy to see her. However, the knights feel a different energy radiating around Nero. It's the energy that gives him more power to beat the four of them, including Sean. Nero makes it hard for them to defeat him, and he escapes with the gold armor, leaving the knights to the merciless army. They meet with Sienna, who is angry at their loss of the gold armor. She opts to find the gold armor, but Magnus agrees to bring it back. He admits he was sent on a mission by Sanctuary to assassinate Sienna and kill the Bronze Knights. Magnus tells them that Sanctuary is after Sienna because she is the reincarnated Athena with a dark prophecy to ruin the world. The Master of Sanctuary decided to save humanity by eliminating Athena. After hearing Magnus's story, the knights believe that Sienna is the reincarnated Athena, and they take an oath to be her knights and protect her. So the knights set on their new mission to retrieve the gold armor from Nero. To their surprise, Black Knights, made of Harad's technology, appear to help Nero. Together with Nero, the Black Knights stop Saya from defeating them, before they run to the rendezvous point where Harad directed them to. Saya follows them, only to meet Cassios, who is now one of Harad's Black Knights. Cassios is bent on avenging Saya's win as the Pegasus Knight, so he uses all his energy to fight until his armor develops a hitch. Saya manages to defeat Cassios, and in turn, his Cosmo becomes weak. The other knights locate him, but he reminds them of their mission to retrieve the gold armor, so they leave him to locate the Black Knights, who are strong for them. However, Sean finds their weakness at the back of their neck, and with support from Long and Magnus, she uses her nebula chain to defeat them. Meanwhile, their strongest opponent arrives to meet them. Phoenix Nero is ready to kill them. Sean stops Long and Magnus from going after Nero. She wants to be responsible for her brother's inaction. Neither Nero nor the Bronze Knights are ready to fail, so Magnus makes a wall from his diamond dust to guide them in the meantime. We get to see Nero remember how he spent 4 years on Death Queen Island, where he was trained to forget everything about compassion and honor. His master beat him every day until the death of Esmeralda, his master's daughter, taught him to hate everything and everyone around him. The three are no match for Nero as he uses his Phoenix Rising power to send them to the ground. Saya shows up again with a weak Cosmo, and this makes Nero so happy. He sends his Phoenix Rising again, but Long, Sean, and Magnus lend Saya their Cosmos. This shows Nero that the power of friendship is greater than any other thing. Nero is defeated and the gold armor is in safe hands. But that doesn't end at all. A volcano attacks them, leaving them to struggle for their lives. Lizard Misty and Marin, Silver Knights from Sanctuary, arrive to confirm the deaths of the Bronze Knights, with the belief that Magnus must have completed his mission. Marin believes they are dead, but Misty thinks otherwise, claiming that the Knights do not possess such power to survive the volcano, so she assigns other Silver Knights to search for them. However, Saya wakes up on a remote beach to see Kiki, a student of the legendary Master Mu. He learns that Master Mu saved the Bronze Knights and even the Black Knights from the volcano, otherwise they would have died. The location of the other Bronze Knights is unknown to him, but Saya is excited that he is still alive. This happiness diminishes when he hears of Nero's death. Just when Nero had rediscovered his humanity, he chose to die, to save his sister and the Bronze Knights. The Silver Knights show up from nowhere and interrupt this moment of truth discovery. Saya is happy to reunite with his master Marin, but it seems it is not the time to exchange pleasantries. Misty asks Marin to leave Saya for him to handle, and with a shove of a finger, he sends the Bronze Knight to the floor. One thing Saya doesn't know is that the Silver Knights are way stronger than the Bronze Knights. He proceeds to wear his Pegasus armor to prepare for a fight with Misty and his master Marin. Misty reveals to Saya that Magnus, Long, and Sean are being hunted as well, making a jest of his inability to beat him. Master Mu is moved to help Saya, but Master Doko intervenes, warning him to remain patient and allow Saya to figure everything out by himself. The fight becomes more intense until Marin steps in, stopping Misty from killing her old apprentice. However, she sends the last blow that kills Saya without a single bit of remorse. Whale Morris, another Silver Knight, arrives at the beach with unconscious Sean and Magnus. Together, the Silver Knights pay tribute to the Bronze Knights after stripping them of their knighthood and burying them in the ground. But Misty is not satisfied with this. He asks Marin to wait behind while he exhumes the supposed corpse of Saya to confirm if he is alive. He accuses Marin of creating an illusion to make it appear like she truly killed Saya. He claims her trick can fool other knights but not him. Using the Mavru Trippa technique, Misty gives Marin a punishment for defying the sanctuary and betraying her fellow knights. Luckily, Saya wakes up from his unconsciousness, putting up a defense against Misty, who intends to kill him. Misty is shocked to see that C.S. Cosmo is more powerful than the rest of the Bronze Knights. He experiences pain and much more, a defeat from a knight he brags to be higher than. Saya confronts Marin about the whereabouts of the other Bronze Knights, but he receives no answer after searching the graves for their bodies. Are Long, Magnus, and Sean alive? Are you curious to see what happens next? You should, because a lot more is yet to unfold. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for the part 2.